Hello, bub. And welcome to Drinkin Thinkin special spoiler cast of Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm Ben.
I'm James.
And we saw it a day before it actually released, so we're going to just get this up quick so that anyone can come and listen to it when when they've seen it. Also, just in case you're listening to it and you haven't seen it yet, obviously click off. But just know that there isn't an after credit scene. That's really important information. Like,
there's no after credit scene. Don't bother wasting your time. There's none.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I was hoping for one.
So shall we just jump into it?
Yeah. Okay. So, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was phenomenal.
It was really shockingly good.
I thought it was. I prefer it to Deadpool. Obviously, the two are similar because they're R-rated films.
I'd be tempted to say the same. Yeah.
I think that's this sort of tone and this grittiness, I guess, suits itself to superhero movies, especially this one, like Logan.
Yeah, it suits the character. Like, he's a guy with knives on his fingers.
Yeah,
on his hands,
essentially,
like,
bone knives.
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I was in awe, like, for a lot of it. I think straight off the bat, you can tell from the opening there's just this different, like, something different to this than, it's not a bunch of guys in colored costumes saving the world. It's a more kind of grounded human story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just brilliant, honestly.
And just the fact that it is more grounded and has that sort of a realistic tone, it makes everything seem a bit more almost fantastical in a way.
Yeah.
That when knives come out of his hands, it's sort of like, whoa, this is more incredible than when Captain America pulls a helicopter in.
Yeah, because it feels like the real world. Like,
it feels. Well, I was listening to Boyd Holbrook, who plays Donald Pierce.
Yep.
Yeah, the villain. On an interview yesterday, talking about the script. Yeah.
Yes.
And he was saying that he was joking, but what he said was on the first page there was a little thing saying if your character gets squished by a building, you're dead.
You're dead.
And
Yeah.
that's what I like. It grounds everything. It makes it more interesting. And the film is directed by James Mangold.
Yeah, who did The Wolverine?
One of the better X-Men movies. Yeah. And obviously you knew that he wanted to do an R-rated film because he released his R-rated cut.
Yeah,
of Wolverine,
which is still kind of tame.
It was a lot of CG blood.
Yeah.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
It always makes things just look shit.
Yeah. But I mean, you can tell from the opening shot of the movie that's like R-rated, and it's like, okay, from the first kill, this is the movie we're doing. There's even boobs in it.
Yeah, there is.
I'll jump into the spoiler. There's boobs in it. I was surprised, and so unnecessary.
That was the thing when we came out of the cinema and we were talking about that scene, how it comes off as just like, we could do this.
Like, we can, so let's fucking do it. Why not?
Do it, yeah. But obviously the R-rated comes from the violence.
Yeah,
which there is a lot of.
A lot of swearing. So.
Yeah.
They say fuck everybody. I wonder what the count.
The fuck count
is. Yeah.
It comes from like Patrick Stewart, which is a strange thing.
Yeah.
I was about to say Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
So shall we jump into the actual plot?
Yeah. So the film opens with Logan waking up in a limo. So he's basically spent the past I think they say 5 years or 10 years or something working as an Uber driver, effectively.
Like a fancy ass Uber driver. A nice little Chrysler limo.
Yeah. And he wakes up to some, I assume, Mexican.
Well, they say Boyd Holbrook says cholos.
Cholos. So some Latino gangsters robbing the caps off his car.
Yeah. And he, off the bat, as he's worse for wear. Like, he's stumbling out of the fucking car.
He's like pissed
hung over.
Yeah. And he's just like, lads, stop. Just like, you're wasting your time, right? So they shoot him dead, or they think.
Yeah.
And from that shot, you can tell it's like he's fucked, because he's on the ground like in agony, and he's like, and it's like, fuck's sake, and gets up, and then he, it's knifey time.
And that's like, you open up with an action sequence that's pretty hardcore. Like he's chopping heads off and
I remember.
arms and legs.
I think my jaw dropped when your man's leg gets hacked off.
Well, I just had that smile going like, this is what. This should be his last movie because this is what it has to be.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that the action was a little bit shaky and quick. Where sometimes I guess because we were sitting in IMAX 4 rows from the front,
yeah.
so we were sort of close. But sometimes I find it hard to follow some of the action. Yeah.
No, there's a lot.
But it was a hell of an opening.
Yeah. And just like the way the Logan appears in like the kind of on the right hand side on the lower.
And no music.
Yeah, no,
Logan.
like there's nothing like that. It's just kind of like somber. So basically, it's 2029 now. So he's been working for I think a few years as a driver, and effectively him and Caliban, played by Stephen Merchant, brilliantly I think.
Yeah,
I think he's great.
One of the highlights.
Yeah, live just off the Mexican border in Texas, I think.
Yeah, and
effectively they're caring for Charles Xavier, who has what do they say he has Alzheimer's, some sort of Alzheimer's or some sort of degenerative disease.
He suffers from like seizures every now and then.
Yeah, and these seizures cause these like seismic events, you know, where people just start like spasming
and
around
just sort of freeze.
Yeah. So he's looking. So you know, when we meet Professor X, he's rambling, like going back and forth, talking shite. You know?
Yeah.
And it's quite sad. Like you see it, and you know, you think back to, you know, we've had how many movies with him, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
To see him in this state, you know, which he'd be what, in his 90s probably at that point.
Yeah, he says it in the film that he's 90.
Yeah.
Or that he's in his 90s anyway.
Yeah.
That's the whole situation there. I'd like to see how that happened. Because your man Caliban seems like who's Steve Merchant seems like such a strange because he's sort of a bad mutant in that his power's not very good. He can locate other mutants. You know, that's his power. But him and Wolverine sort of seem like strange bedfellows to live together.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting.
Like they have this plan. I think it's revealed at this point where they're saving up their money to buy a ship,
to buy
a yacht,
a little yacht
called the Sunseeker,
yeah.
that they can live out in the ocean in peace. And it's I wonder how that came about.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, you know, it's like Xavier says, it's like, you're waiting for me to die in the ark, kind of.
Yeah.
Just so it's not their problem anymore.
Because like at this point, they're essentially, at least to them, they're the last mutants alive. Yeah. Something's happened. I don't. Is it fully explained in the movie?
Yeah, it's the guy. We don't need to follow it chronologically.
Yeah.
We can jump back and forth. So one of the main villains of the film is a man by the name of I can find it here. Xander Rice. Yeah. So he effectively caused the mutant wipeout. They don't really say how he did it, I don't think.
I can't imagine
some sort of cloudburst.
Yeah, because I can't imagine it's a bunch of mercenaries going around killing them.
Yeah. But I think they leave that somewhat ambiguous.
Yeah, I think.
But he was involved anyway.
Yeah.
Why there's no more mutants?
There's a couple things in the movie like that where they don't really explain things because it's like the title sort of sums up that it's a character story. Because right after when we meet Caliban and Charles again, we're sort of teased that something's happened.
Yeah.
That Charles might have killed a few X-Men.
Yeah, during one of his seizures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this kind of really heartfelt moment later on in it. Just before, spoilers, he dies. When he gets stabbed really viciously.
Yeah.
Where he says about, like, you know, I think it's something along the lines of, you thought I didn't know, and, you know, only I didn't until this moment, and now I know. It's like, I'm the one who did this. And I thought what I took from that was that he was the one who wiped out all the mutants.
All of them.
Yeah, like some incident with Cerebro or something like that.
Yeah. Well, His seizures don't really affect mutants too much though.
No, they do.
No, but they
I think they affect mutants worse than humans.
Humans flat out freeze. They can't move. Whereas and we see it a couple times where Wolverine's like walking around. Laura, that little girl's name, she can move around. And Caliban, when he was in the truck in the hotel, he can move around.
But so it's been described. I've seen it several times being described as post-apocalyptic, and it is and it isn't, in the sense that it is for mutants. There's no more mutants, but like the human world's still going on. You know, he's a fucking Uber driver. He's driving chicks around to prom and shit. And that's where they flash their tits. Because why not? You know. But basically, he's Xander Rice. So his father worked on the Weapon X program, and apparently it says on Wikipedia anyway that Logan killed him in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh,
so surely that's a character. Maybe that's a character. I wonder if I might go back and watch. I like Apocalypse, so I might actually mean to watch it again anyway. But I might go back and look and see, is that specific character identified? Yeah,
sure. Well, the movie takes place in like they reference it a couple times where all the other X-Men movies, the way I took it anyways, all the other X-Men movies happened, but in a very sort of altered and more subdued way.
Yeah.
Because X-Men, the comics, exist in the universe.
Yeah. And there's direct references to the first X-Men movie. Statue of Liberty. Yeah. That's mentioned. Again, X-Men Apocalypse was there. I, for the life of me, could have sworn Origins Wolverine was referenced as well.
Well,
I think I might be mistaken, but I thought so.
You thought the
Silver Bullet thing.
The Silver Bullet thing.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that well, we'll get into it later on. We'll keep going through the a synopsis, I guess.
Yeah. So basically, Logan's approached by a Hispanic woman asking for his help. You know, you're the Wolverine. I need your help. And he's like, "Fuck off, no."
Yeah.
He's like, don't want anything to do with it. You know, because I think he's kind of broken. There's no hero in him anymore. He just wants to get on with his life.
Get away.
Yeah.
Or die.
Yeah. So eventually, the woman tricks him into showing up by Ubering him. It's easy enough, I think. And he shows up, and she explains to him that she needs him to transport her daughter, a little 11-year-old girl named Laura, to somewhere in North Dakota. So after offering them, so basically she offers him 50 grand.
20 grand up front, 30 grand when he does it.
When he gets there, and that's enough money to buy the boat.
Yeah.
So he thinks, right, I'll do this. You know, and this is after being approached by Donald Pierce, and going fuck, because he realizes these are like the Weapon X people.
Yeah.
And like you really shouldn't fuck around with them. They're letting them live just because they don't bother him. So yeah, he reluctantly accepts the job. Now she's murdered. And then Laura, the little girl, spoilers, X-23. It's not really spoilers, you know, going into the movie, surely. Sneaks into the back of his car. So yeah, so this is where the movie kind of takes off. It's very I don't think we need a Last of Us movie anymore. Because it effectively is The Last of Us. This guy going about his business, offered a job, takes the job just for the money to transport a girl from one place to another. And eventually him and the girl, while initially hating each other, kind of grow close as the movie goes on. It is Last of Us, effectively.
Whilst being chased by government.
Yeah. Going to this somewhat fictional, idealized place, you know, in the world. So shit goes down then, and he takes Charles. Caliban gets captured. They take Charles and the girl. I like that he was gonna ditch the girl. That he went to drive off without her. He was just like, no, fuck this.
Yeah, it was so. Like he goes back to his little ranch in Texas, I guess, the little plant that he lives in, and all the mercenaries show up. And he throws Patrick Stewart in the back of the car.
Yeah.
And because they're coming into this house, and he tries to get away, and they essentially just capture him. And then again, he sort of just gives up the girl when Boyd Holbrook's character comes up to him, asking about her.
Yeah. But he keeps saying, he's like, I don't have her. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, you're holding her ball. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when shit goes down. That's when the
Well,
film gets really fucking violent.
Yeah.
When we see her claws for the first time. I didn't know she had foot claws.
Yeah, she's.
But that was proper, like, she was there, like, doing spins and shit, cutting off people's arms. I love when she comes out with the head.
Yeah.
And she's just like, come on, and she just fucks the head at him, and I was like, oh, it's pretty gory. Yeah, so, so they make their way off, and they're looking for this place called Eden, which is where the mother instructs her to take Logan with coordinates. So, it's revealed that the X-24 project, which was kind of the rearing of children, mutants, or growing of them. Yeah, they're cloning of
from different mutants.
From mostly X-Men, actually, I think. To create soldiers, which means that the Transigen kind of has a monopoly on the whole mutant species, effectively. So they escape, capture. Then they find out Laura is actually Logan's, daughter.
Essentially.
Effectively
clone daughter.
Yeah. So they make their way to Oklahoma, where Logan finds that she's reading a comic book. So there's nice funny bits in there. Xavier buys a hat. He's really excited putting it on in the elevator. They go to the room. Logan fucks off to a bar. Starts reading the comic and finds out that the Eden is actually a place in the comic book.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck."
This whole thing was just based on
time. So eventually, Transigen find them, and there's this amazing sequence. I think it's probably one of my favorite bits in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
When Charles has another seizure.
Yeah.
And Logan's making his way up, everyone's frozen. He's there, barely able to move, and he's making his way up to the room. He's in the elevator, fucked. Then after that, when he's clawing into the wall.
Yeah, just to get up.
And your man's there looking at him, can't move, but he's eyes dart at him, and he's like, shit. And he just goes, shoom, kills him. That was fucking awesome.
That was awesome.
So they escape. They help out Charles. He stops having a seizure. They escape, and they come across this family in, I assume, somewhere in Oklahoma or something. This family, and they stay the night at their house after meeting them.
Yeah.
And
well, basically, they have their they stay with them for dinner initially, and Logan's saying, "Oh, let's just get back on the road. We need to do this quick, because it was Transigen is hot on their tails." And
I like
Xavier,
the whole automatic
cars. Yeah,
That's
well,
cool.
they really a lot of times they do these subtle things to show you that it's the future.
It's 30 years.
But everything's sort of and this is what I was thinking about when they say it's post-apocalyptic. I think it's almost like an industrial sort of apocalypse, because everything is all the future tech we see are some sort of industrial company sort of driven machinery, like the self-driving trucks and the huge crop harvesters that are also mechanical.
I think there's even a thing the dad of the family mentions that the companies are buying up all the crops.
Yeah.
So it is. Yeah, I suppose it is kind of this industrial apocalypse.
Anyways, Xavier says, "No, let's just stay the night."
Yeah, because fuck it, why not?
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
We should also say at this point that Transigen are torturing Caliban.
Yeah.
Because his power is to locate other mutants.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, they're
following them.
A GPS to their exact location.
Yeah.
During the night, the father of the family says the water's gone off.
Water's fucked.
Yeah. And he's going what's going on? Logan goes, what's going on? Where's the water fucked? They say there's these other boys who are sort of intimidating us because we're not selling our farm, and they keep going out and shutting off our water. And the water pumps located. I can't remember what he said, but it was something like it was quite a ways away. Logan said, Patrick said, Xavier says, Logan will go with you, and they're like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll go. So they go down, and it has been tampered with. It's spewing water everywhere. And then it all in a weird way, it seemed You remember we were saying this afterwards. It seemed like a little bit almost racist.
I'm certain it was
Yeah.
a race thing. Yeah,
Well,
it
I think
definitely
it's
was.
just because the
Well,
image.
part of it was these must work for the company that
Yeah.
they're not. So
Well,
they're
the
trying to bully
imagery.
them out of selling their land.
The imagery, it looked like almost a lynch mob.
Yeah,
But they're on the back of a truck with like
Yeah.
cowboy hats with shotguns,
Yeah.
and they jump out and they start saying to the, because also the guys, the father's black, the family's black.
Family's black, yeah.
We forgot to mention that. And they're saying he pulls out a pistol and puts it in his pocket, going like, "There, we don't need it, but just in case." They start saying, what did they start saying to him? Just saying, "I'll just leave, go away," you know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they actually want to hurt him, but they're just doing their job to get them to sell the house. And Logan,
nice trying to stick up for the for the cons. Yeah.
Logan
Awesome.
basically says, "Fuck this shit, I'm not having any of it."
Yeah.
Breaks the guy's nose and then breaks his rifle on his knee. No one seems to bat an eye at this.
I was shocked. I was when your man didn't say, "Did you just snap a rifle in half?" He didn't say anything. I was just like,
the guys
training.
Yeah, the guys leave and then they just go, "Well, let's go back to the house."
Yeah. So then we cut to Xavier in his bed, who gives, as I mentioned earlier, the whole speech of, I'm the one who killed some of the mutants. That's what I took from it anyway.
Yeah,
they had some spasm and killed at least a lot of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And and then all of a sudden, Shing, three
Well,
blades go in his bloody chest.
we'll say that he has this really it's almost like a goodbye. I saw to the series
It was quite nice.
where he's saying like, "Oh, it's the best day I've ever had."
Yeah.
Um,
Most perfect.
yeah, and then Shing.
Shing, he gets stabbed and then cut. It's Wolverine.
And oddly hairless Wolverine.
Hairless,
So-
yeah. He has a slight
A shaved head and his
buzz
buzz
cut.
back.
And you're like, oh fuck, it's like, what's going on here?
Is it a dream? Is it?
Yeah. But it's like, did Logan just kill him? He's wearing different clothes. Why does his hair look like that? What's going on? And then you realize earlier on in the film, it's mentioned that there's an X20. I called it X23, X24 earlier. I meant X23 earlier. X24. When I saw it now, it's kind of in the video Gabriella gives to Logan that where he's watching, that shows the whole kid project thing.
Yeah.
And I remember earlier in the film, there's like a flash of it, and you see X24 written in the top corner of the screen.
Yeah.
So I was there like, is that Dakin? And Dakin's Logan's clone son in the comics. And the whole time I was like, this must be Dakin. They're doing Dakin then. It's not Dakin, but it's actually just younger Hugh Jackman. Like super angry, like Terminator Hugh Jackman. And it's awesome. He's so cool.
Yeah.
And then he slaughters the family.
Everyone.
Like really fucking brutally as well. Like the kid and all, like takes X23. And then I remember he walks down the stairs and then he passes Logan. And Logan's just looking there in shock, like, and doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
They just look at each other and he walks out. Then he goes up and he's horrified. Charles is there, gasping for breath and bleeding out. And then they have a fight and he almost gets his ass kicked.
Well, he does for the first while.
This is the first like proper one-on-one kind of fight in it.
Yeah, we should also say that the lads from earlier on who were intimidating the family by breaking the pipes, they show up saying, "Let's actually just get rid of this.
Yeah.
Let's kill him."
They come across the clone.
Yeah, and that's a bad thing to do.
Logan.
Because if Logan is angry, then this guy is ballistic, and he destroys them.
Yeah.
Like, and takes his time too, like, because you see 3 different scenes going on. You see like Caliban in the back of the car, Logan upstairs, the X23 lore on the ground, all whilst, and they all have like their little thing, all whilst he's killing these 5 guys.
Yeah.
It was awesome though.
So then they have a fight and he gets impaled on something like that.
The black lad, turns out he didn't die when he got stabbed the first time. And drives his truck into Dakin, what's his name?
It's not actually Dakin.
I was called X24. Into X24, impaling him onto like a harvester. Comes out with a shotgun and shoots him like 6 or 7 times and blows his head off. And then turns around and sees Logan there and tries to shoot him and then dies.
That was really sad.
Because there was no like...
Yeah,
it was
he just kind of blamed in the moment.
It was hopeless almost.
He blamed him for this happening.
Yeah.
And just succumbs to his wounds.
Yeah. All whilst all while this is happening, Caliban gets his hand on 2 grenades. He's at the house now because he's in the truck that the transgender came up, and he blows himself up, trying to kill. Yeah. He fails. He kills. I think he kills one guy, but he causes enough of a ruckus that Logan, a dying Charles, and Expedition can escape.
Yep. So they get away. So the next scene is then really sad. There's a lot of really sad moments in this.
The whole movie sort of just sad.
Just sad and bleak and awesome though. Where they bury Xavier. And Logan's like pissed off, like super pissed off. I'm just tired and fuck this shit.
He's almost crying.
Yeah.
Like you see his eyes well up, and he can't say eulogy.
Yeah.
Because they're burying him on the bank of a river. Then X-23 like grabs his hand, and this is when you start to see like they're starting to get along, but he's like nah. Yeah. Fuck this.
X-23 is mute at this point as well. We never mentioned.
Apparently,
she just doesn't speak.
Yeah. She just screams.
Yeah.
Like when she's attacking people.
Which is really scary.
Yeah.
I was surprised how effectively they pulled it off. Like that she was like proper terrifying. So did you think that was a fitting end to Xavier? To Patrick Stewart's performance?
Yes and no, because it did happen so fast and right before an action scene. One of our friends was saying that it would have been good if he had been slowly bleeding out in the truck, so that he could have like one more scene. And not have him die, Caliban die. We're introduced to this new mutant, a huge fight, and then just have a goodbye, but he's not even in it.
Yeah,
because he's being buried. So it was, but it was a little too quick to really take it in.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I love the whole sequence. But yeah, I see it is kind of one of the more faster paced moments of the film.
Of a very slow paced movie.
Yeah. So they bury Xavier, and then Logan kind of decides, fuck the money. I'm just gonna, do what Xavier wanted me to do and take her to this Eden place that
not yet.
Doesn't think exists.
Not yet.
Oh no, he has a freak out after
he freaks out.
The car.
Yeah, and smashes his car and passes out.
Yeah.
Then he wakes up in a hospital.
Yeah.
And a doctor's examining him, and the doctor knows he's a mutant. And Logan basically says, I'm not staying here. You best just forget I was here if you want to live. And then they get into a car that X-23 essentially, I guess, got them there because
the fisherman.
Yeah, because they see a fisherman with the same
truck. She drove
truck.
them there, didn't she?
I think the fisherman drove them there and then she just got in the car or something. Well, no, I guess she might have drove him there.
She probably stole it though, because he was heading off with the dog. The fisher guy.
But this is where we learn that she's not mute.
Yeah, she starts speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
I love that bit because he's there. She starts speaking. It's like, you can talk. Why didn't you talk this whole time? And she's just like yapping. He's like, okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. One of the few moments of humor.
There's a lot. I think there is actually a lot of humor in it. I think it plays so well off of the kind of drabness of it when there is a humorous moment.
Well, all the humor really comes from Xavier and Caliban, and they die early on in the movie. Well, about halfway through the movie.
Yeah, both of them are dead.
Yeah.
So they come. Eventually, they find Eden, which is this place that all of the X-23 project children are hiding, waiting for them all to regroup so they can head across the border. I think to Canada.
To Mexico, I think.
No, it's the north.
Oh,
they're North Dakota.
Oh right, yeah.
To be north Canada.
Yeah.
So, so all these kids have various different powers. A lot of them, I think, it's supposed to be like there's this kid who can freeze stuff. So it's like that's Iceman. Iceman's DNA.
Yeah, there was
kid who controls fire. It's Pyros. Some of them a lot of them are comic book characters. Actually, I was looking up the other day. Some of them are actually like legitimate characters. So they ditch Logan after they spend a couple nights together. I think Logan's like healing.
They give him this I guess it's like an antidote or something that says take a little bit every now and then and you'll heal. Yeah, it'll help you heal anyway.
It's actually this like kind of steroid thing.
Yeah,
he says like don't take it all at once because you'll go fucking ape shit.
Yeah, and we have an awesome scene where because Logan's essentially passed out for like 4 days straight or something, and on one of the days all the kids go at him with his scissors
Yeah.
and cuts his beard
Yeah.
into his like mutton chops.
Yeah.
So he's back.
Yeah.
Well, almost back. He's on the road being back to Wolverine again.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that it was like a way that made sense to bring him back into that. Like he didn't have this moment where he decided to shave it. It was like, yeah.
Wolverine again.
He wakes up and he's like, "That's not funny, guys."
Because he was sort of reluctant, and we learn that much like earlier on when we see the X-Men comics, one of the kids has a Wolverine toy.
Yeah.
So they probably all look up to him like.
Yeah. And that's the first appearance I think of the yellow, like the official appearance of the yellow suit in the series, which he doesn't wear in the movie at any point. We never see it at any point. I was really disappointed that we didn't see it because I really wanted to see Hugh Jackman wear it, but no, it's not in the film. So we're at the kind of climactic ending. So the kids ditch him. X-23 gets pissed off.
They don't ditch him. They both part ways.
Yeah, no, but he I think he wakes up.
But he didn't really want to go.
Yeah, but I think he was gonna go. He woke up and he was like, "They're gone." He wanted to go.
Right.
Like he changed his mind in the night and he was gonna go.
Well, I thought what changed his mind is when he sees the drones.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And he's like,
yeah.
"Fuck."
Well, that's when he's like, "Fuck, I have to go."
Yeah.
So he sees drones and the whole convoy going after the kids. So he's like, "Fuck!" Right. So he starts running and he's all like tired and shit and he can't move. And it's really sad because it's like this is old man Logan.
Yeah,
like,
he's stumbling. He's out of breath.
Yeah. So he's just like, "Right, fuck," and he pulls out the yoga. He just takes all of it.
The antidote, yeah.
And then he just starts fucking sprinting.
Like just like fucking tearing ass through the forest.
Yeah, so all the kids are getting kind of rounded up.
Yeah.
And he's just there like blowing through cunts like.
No, well, before that we see someone pinned down X-23. And you don't see him. You don't see Wolverine. All you hear is him just scream.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Because he just screams and then he just bursts onto the screen and starts tearing people
He's
like
so scary.
yeah, like he's just ripping people apart. If he was
Yeah.
tearing them apart before, now he's just obliterating them.
Yeah, decimating them like proper. And there's a lot of face stabs in the movie.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
head stabs and face stabs, and it's like, oh.
And dismemberments.
Yeah. So so he gets there. He's kind of kills most of the criminals, and then he gets surrounded.
Well,
his serum wears off.
Yeah.
And then there's I think him and X-23 see all the kids surrounded. So like, okay, fuck, what are we gonna do? So it's like, okay, you sneak around, X-23, you sneak around and help the kids, and I'll distract them.
Mhm.
So he goes up, and they're all like guns pointed at him. He's like riddled with bullets, and he's not like healing.
Yeah.
So he's just like, ah, fuck. So what was that?
So then we have what was his name? Was it Xander?
Xander Rice.
Xander Rice
gives his
comes
whole
up
speech.
saying what did he say? What did he say to him again?
Well, he explains the whole. He was the one who wiped out the mutants.
Yeah.
Because Logan killed his dad.
And throughout the film we hear not many times, but he says it once or twice that
Hate guns.
hey guns.
They're not for me.
But he whips out a little pistol
Yeah.
and just
Blows his
shoots the
fucking-
doctor in the head.
Yeah.
And at this point everything starts kicking off, and all the little kid mutants start fighting alongside him, and he starts fighting them, and then X-24, Wolverine almost kills Bud Hall's character,
Yeah.
but he sprints around, opens up the back of a truck, and out jumps.
It's like, come on, boy.
Yeah, out jumps
Yeah.
X-24, and he's just kicking the shit out of Wolverine.
Yeah. So they have a fight, and he impales Wolverine on a log.
Yes.
And you can tell like that's it. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's
like,
a goner now.
Yeah, he's not gonna heal from that one.
So throughout the whole film, there was this kind of motif that there was an animated bullet that Logan had with him the whole time. That he said he's like, I was gonna kill myself with it.
Yeah.
Once Xavier died, so just blow my brains out, end it. So X-23 gets the bullet.
Not before
Having a
Donald
little
Pierce dies.
Oh yeah,
He
the
gets
kids,
killed by
the
all
kids.
the mutants.
Yeah.
In a scene that I thought was a bit lackluster. I know that
It was like a Children of the Corn thing.
Yeah, and they were all using their power. So he was getting frozen. He was getting strangled by
grass.
grass. His bones were like popping out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was sort of a little bit much.
Yeah, I was hoping for him to get an actual fight.
I was hoping Wolverine was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that would be cool.
Well, yeah, because it makes him seem like even more of a lackey. That's the kid for kids
Yeah,
to
yeah.
kill him like that. You meet in the last act of the movie, like. But anyway, so X-24, she gets the adamantium bullet and she shoots X-24 in the head.
Blows his head open, and it was
Brains
such a cool
out.
effect. Like his head literally
Yeah, it just
opens up.
explodes like.
But doesn't I guess we're not really mentioning X-Men Origins, but that doesn't kill Wolverine in that movie. He gets shot with an animated bullet in the head, and
It
it
gets
just makes
stuck
him
in his
invisible.
head and he loses memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why does it kill?
Are you really? Are you looking for some sort of
Well, that's
connectivity
that was
between
like
the
because
X-Men movies?
I'm only like I'm a film set fan.
Yeah.
Of the I'm like an X-Men film fan. I haven't read the comics, but that was one thing that I was like, well, that bullet won't kill him because it can't kill him.
But you knew the whole goddamn time that like
That bullet was
going to kill him.
come in handy. I thought he was going to shoot himself at the beginning. And that was going to be the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So X-24 is dead.
Yes.
Bullet to the head, dead.
And then Logan and X-23 have this really nice kind of moment at the end. He's dying, and they have this speech, and he talks about what is that about again?
Well, we're just saying that, and it's like the first time he mentions that he's actually his daughter and stuff.
Yeah,
it was like a
accepts it,
father and son, and she is one of the best snot trails I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah,
since the Blair Witch, like it is remarkable.
there,
I was like, oh god, and it lingers on it,
bursting out crying.
But I guess it shows emotion.
And it was just quite this nice moment, and then cut to the last scene, which is they give a eulogy to him. So they buried him, have a cross on his grave. And she gives a speech that I didn't know until after watching the movie that was actually a quote from earlier in the movie, from a movie Xavier was watching with her.
Shay. Yeah.
So I've never seen it.
The movie is heavily based on it.
Is it really?
Yeah. They sort of bend the same way.
Yeah. So so they're all the kids. They all give their eulogy, and you see the kid with the Wolverine toy, and they all kind of walk off, but she stays behind. And I didn't really feel much of an emotional kick in the movie of him dying, because I was expecting him to die.
You knew he was gonna.
Until she takes the cross and she turns it into an X.
Yeah.
And walks away, and I started tearing up. I was just like, oh my god! And then cut to black.
And no music.
No music. No after credit scene. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the movie. That's the end of Logan.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, really perfect way to end it.
It's not without its flaws. I think some of the action, like I was saying earlier on, it was a bit fast. So I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
I thought X-24 was, because I guess it plays into the whole sort of family ties thing that they were trying to get out with the film.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he was that great of a villain.
Well, it was it is that kind of cheesy thing of taking the main character and having the evil clone or the
fighting
evil
yourself.
Yeah, you know. But I think they pulled it off better than most do.
For a lower budget movie, it looked really well.
It did, yeah. Even the CG. I remember one of the guys who were Ronan said the CG was really obvious, and I was like, I don't think it was.
There were some scenes where it was obvious, but
yeah, but like it was obvious. Like I was like, I know that's CG, but that looks really good though.
Yeah.
Like,
it sells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna see him again?
Yeah.
You do?
I think so. Yeah.
I really hope not.
I think we're gonna get for like some sort of appearance in Deadpool 2 or something.
Deadpool, I guess, won't really count.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But it was such a perfect end to it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna star in another movie. I think we could see him again. I think he could cameo forever, like if he wanted to.
Yeah. What about Xavier? Because he's joined the bandwagon now, saying he's not going to.
Yeah, well, I think it was past time that he kind of ended the role, and he ended it so perfectly.
Yeah.
Because like, I think honestly the best performance in the movie is from Patrick Stewart. Just how kind of genuine, like it was. If this wasn't a superhero movie, that'd be an Oscar performance.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed to get an Oscar for that. Or he'd be nominated at least.
Yeah.
I still think he deserves one.
Well, it's a year until we figure out.
I don't think it's not going to happen. But it'd be nice if it did. But he has some fantastic moments. He almost steals the movie himself.
Well, everyone was on top form.
But I remember when they announced this and they said he was coming back, I was kind of like, really?
Yeah.
Like, we're getting Xavier? Like, that's a bit odd. But it worked really well. Like, different Xavier, like broken. The world's kind of broken.
So any closing comments?
I think other directors, I think studios should look to this movie and say, right, let's not butt in anymore. Let's just let the director make what he wants to make. Because you get something like this. You get an amazing movie that I'm sure is going to storm the box office.
It doesn't have much. It doesn't have that hard of a.
120 years.
120. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, yeah. So, some of those studios that butt in a lot, you know, Warner Brothers, should maybe, you know, take a step back and let their trust your directors, you know, to do a good job. Because you know they might surprise you.
That was good.
Yeah. How about yourself? Any closing comments?
Well, it's my favorite X-Men movie.
I think it is as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get one as good because the main series I don't like, and Deadpool's a different type of movie.
Yeah.
But I just think this is how you should handle comic book movies.
Yeah.
Give it a sense of gravitas.
And that doesn't mean they all have to be super violent or have sex or anything like that. It just means like, you know,
take your character seriously.
Yeah. Tell a story, you know, not just a save the world thing. You know, you can tell these type of stories, smaller stories, and they're a lot of the time better than the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the time, actually, almost all the time.
And they're a lot more not bankable, but they can prove a lot more fruitful, like Deadpool. Yeah. So.
It's nice. It's not ready to end. So, thank you for listening to outro.
All right, so you can follow us on.
I was about to do that. Yeah.
Go on then.
So you know, I was getting into it, and you disrupted me there.
I wish.
All right, Bubs.
I wish I had claws.
You can
go at you like a cat.
You can if you enjoyed this, you can follow us on Facebook at Drinkin Thinkin Podcast, all one word, no G's, no apostrophes. That rhymed. Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at DT_podcast. Of course, you can hit that little subscribe button if you enjoyed this and want to see more. Also, hit like, comment. You know, if you have any questions, ask us and we'll answer them one way or another. So, thanks for listening and talk hard.
Talk hard.